This season preview is brought to you by Manscaped's brand new Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. This luxurious lather cleanses and nourishes in just one step. Using coconut water, green tea, and aloe, this non-greasy daily formula is naturally hydrating and rich in antioxidants to revitalize the look and feel of your hair. So head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. The new Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped. Take care of hair everywhere.
Let's get into our season previews for the Indianapolis Colts on offense. The headline is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is here to hopefully save the day. No more turd Carson Wentz. You bring in Matty Ice to be the quarterback. You got Michael Pittman Jr. there, Jonathan Taylor. There's a lot of players that are studs on that offense. But Aaron, what is the biggest X factor on this offense?
This might shock some people because I think it's easy when you talk about X factor. This offense runs through Jonathan Taylor, and we all know that. I don't think it's Jonathan Taylor. As a matter of fact, I talked about a little bit of a regression coming from Jonathan Taylor from a production standpoint, obviously not a talent. It's Naim Heinz. I am so excited about Naim Heinz and what he's going to bring to this offense this season. And we've talked about this before. The type of back like that, I've always been like shying away from him in fantasy. For whatever reason, I think Matt Ryan coming over here is going to unlock the potential of a Naim Heinz. We've seen it in flashes. We've seen times where those 2 touchdown games and we look at him and we're like, that he can do this more often. His career high of 7 touchdowns back in 2020. We saw a little bit more of it. He is a dual threat guy that you can give the ball to and turn around and hand it to him, but then also out of the backfield catching the ball. I think Matt Ryan kind of uses him the way he used Devontae Freeman when he first came into the league, when it was Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. I can see Naim Heinz being used that way. And if they can get production from that secondary running back position out of the backfield, you already have a stud in Michael Pittman, and obviously Jonathan Taylor is a dude. I think this Colts offense elevates, goes to the next level, and with one of the better defenses in football and creating turnovers, they could be right there in the AFC. We talked about the talent on the team. They could be right there in the AFC playoff picture where somebody we're looking at like, yeah, all it was Carson Wentz.
Do you think we could see the Colts offense be on that same level? Because, I mean, we've talked about it so many times with like what all the offenses in the AFC West, and then you got the Bills offense. Like, do you think by season's end, we could be talking about the Colts offense right at the same level as those high-powered, fast-paced, crazy offenses?
I think it's tough because of the style in which I do think they're going to play. Now, I know there's been talk in camp about speeding it up, things like that, but that's not always easy as to do during the regular season. So they're not going to be able to be the Bucks, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, last year's like Dallas Cowboys, who had a pretty high offense, a pretty high octane offense. But I do think they can be better than they were last year. So, I mean, last year they averaged, I believe it was like 27 points a game. Maybe they get up to 28, which will be still in the top 10, top 12 in the NFL because they're efficient. They're really good at running the football. They're a really good red zone team because they run the football, which means they score touchdowns and not field goals. And that usually helps your point production. But as far as like explosiveness, where they look the part, I don't think they're going to look like that. I don't think you're going to look at it and be like, oh man, there's weapons everywhere. They have good weapons, but it's not going to jump off of the screen like it does the Chargers or the Chiefs or the Bills or something like that.
Not a lot of flash. And I think one of the things that could separate them from some of those teams, at least maybe not all of the teams, but I do like what the Colts have on the defense side of the ball, especially with this new Gus Bradley-led defense. AJ, what player that's not the right team. Sorry about that. Gus Bradley, the new era. How good can this Colts defense be under Gus Bradley?
Well, the best part is they're taking an already talented defense and just kind of simplifying the game. You know, Gus Bradley coming in and bringing his scheme isn't to make things new and reinvent the wheel. It's just to find a different point of attack. And I think a lot of that this season is going to start from the front level and work its way back. I think you're going to see him lean on guys like DeForest Buckner, who had 7 sacks last year, but also is just very solid in getting to the quarterback and stopping the run. Guys like Kwity Paye, who was pretty decent last year as a rookie. Guys like Bobby Okereke is the way to say it, not the right way, to become that strong side rusher. So if they can get that point of attack from front and get those guys to really start getting after the quarterback and allow to get that penetration from the 4 guys up front, that leaves so much space for these already solid linebackers to operate and just make a play on the ball. And I think that's where Gus Bradley's going to keep his focus and allow that front to be the point of attack. That middle makes the play on the ball. And they got some solid corners, solid secondary that can just kind of play some match football and lock their guys down as best as they can. And if they're getting to the quarterback, you're going to see this defense pick up right where they left off.
How dare you? How dare you?
Why dare I?
First of all, if you're going to go start listing players on the Colts defense and you don't begin with Grover Stewart, which is from right here.
Thank you. Sorry, that was the name I was trying to think of when I said Bobby.
Albany State, shout out, 229, baby. Grover Stewart did a story on him. Love the man. Hey, if you're not starting with that, you made a mistake. So shame on you. And then I'm gonna throw out my draft special because we talked about him in the draft process. Nick Cross, he's slated to start. That is a huge pickup for them. He's very versatile. When you bring in guys like Stephon Gilmore, who we know has been an all-pro defensive player for many years, that defense is very good. And they do have names, but their Colts just aren't a team that really jump out at you. They're not doing it with flash, but they're productive. They will be there, and if they get good quarterback play, which we all think they will from a Matt Ryan who's seen everything in this league, he might not be the greatest quarterback of all time, but he's a very, very good quarterback. I think they will be right there in the end. But shout out Grover Stewart. I had to throw that in there.
Shout out to Grove. Shout out to Grove.
That's right. 229, baby.
Grove.
I really think, and I've always loved Yannick Ngakoue. I think he has a big year for the Indianapolis Colts being reunited with Gus Bradley. I feel like he's obviously bounced around. He was with the Jags and the Raiders and the Ravens. He's been bouncing around a lot. I think he's going to feel most comfortable here in Indianapolis. I've been seeing interviews with him, and he just seems like a different type of player and a different type of mindset with the Colts, with Gus Bradley. And I think he's going to be double-digit sacks this year for Yannick Ngakoue for the Colts. That's what I'm predicting from it because he's got the talent to do it. I think he's getting comfortable, and he'll be there for a while in Indianapolis and
Gus
be a difference maker. He does. He does, and that's the thing. I think that with that, the skill, the talent, he's good.
Vinny's like, I'm going out on a limb, double-digit sacks.
No, it's not.
He's
like
done it twice in his career already.
And but that's the thing. No one I feel like he's like underrated in a way because he's been bouncing.
Because he switched teams because
That's
of his
what I'm
contract stuff. Like his contract was so poorly done by these teams that it caused him to keep moving teams. And then, you don't fit in, you want out of somewhere once, then you get this reputation of being a certain type of guy. And then it just never really feels like a good situation, to your point, that this could maybe hopefully be home for him for a while because the talent is ridiculous. He's very talented.
Aaron, what are you watching for this season when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to step up on the other side of Michael Pittman. We often talk about having another guy, and it doesn't have to be somebody great, but just somebody that can actually produce. I know AJ loves Alec Pierce. He's made some nice plays in camp. You love the Cincinnati guys. It's okay. He's made some nice plays in camp. He looks okay. He doesn't look special to me still, but I think he's made some okay plays. Paris Campbell's been a guy that hasn't really been able to stay on the field. And then you get to those guys behind them. It's Desmond Patton, Ashton Doolin, and Kiki Kuti. Kiki, do you love me?
Oh,
but,
man, what a name.
So they don't have much depth at the wide receiver position. And this was one of the things we talked about. Why not go out and try to bring back a T.Y. Hilton? Why not, go get somebody else in free agency? And maybe they do. Maybe there's still some guys out there that could come and make an impact. But as of right now, that wide receiver position is really thin in the Colts locker room. And if they don't get something to help that, they could be in trouble. Because if I'm a defense, it's Jonathan Taylor, number 1, and it's Michael Pittman, number 2. And if you can stop that, even as good as I think Naim Heinz would be as a versatile piece, you're going to stop the Colts. And I know that's easier said than done, but it still gives a direct game plan for defenses to actually go and approach the week with. So look for somebody else to step up on the outside.
How dare you? You're absolutely right on the part of I do like Alec Pierce. Now, not as much as you jumped in there. It's like, AJ loves Alec Pierce. Like I said that he was talented, and I think he's
going to play for
great.
Cincinnati?
and he played for Cincinnati. So
then you love him. 'Cause you love all of
but
Cincinnati.
with all of that aside, he has been cooking in camp though. Like it has been highlight after highlight of him either mossing somebody down deep or getting off the line on somebody and leaving him in the dust. There's a lot of great conversation about Alec Pierce, and I do think he'll be the next Khalil.
Is this like the Khalil Shakir highlight tape that you wanted so bad?
But that's wrong. But that's wrong though. That's also wrong. Alec Pierce struggled at the start of camp.
Struggled.
At
Okay,
the start of
so
camp.
let's leave day 1 and 2, and let's think about 3 through 14. He's been cooking fools.
This guy watches him on the Pat McAfee show once and thinks this guy's this dog. This guy's
the Pat McAfee show. Anyways, the funny part was I was about to stop there, by the way, until y'all jumped in, because I had one other name, and you're also going to hate me. And then you're going to hate me this one, Aaron, because it's a tight end. Because now that Alec Ogletree is out, the guy that I've been talking about, Jelani Woods, I think is going to have a direct line into being a solid player and a solid target for Matt Ryan this season. So I do think they're going to have some pass catchers. You can look like that all you want. Jelani Woods came on very strong at the end of his college career last year, and I think 6'8". He's a new gargantuan. He's a new gargantuan.
Not only did he bring up a tight end, but he brought up a tight end too. He brought up the backup tight end. Mo Alley Cox is still there.
That's fine.
I'm confused. Who did you say they don't have?
Alec Ogletree. He tore his ACL.
Well,
so
that's not the right person either.
What does that have to do with Jelani Woods?
Is it Alec Ogletree?
Yes.
What does that have to do with Jelani Woods?
I mean, it's another person out of the way for him to step into.
Alec Ogletree is a defensive player, AJ. What are you talking about? You're killing me, Smalls. Alec Ogletree is a linebacker. First of all, let me clear all this shit up.
Right
you can't come on here trying to come at me when you don't even got your facts straight.
Look at the answer we're looking for, folks, is Drew Ogletree.
First of all, let's reel this back in. Even with Drew Ogletree or whoever it is you are actually talking about being out, Jelani Woods is still right now listed as third on the depth chart. I'm not saying he can't be good, but don't come in here talking about no third string tight end and Alec Pierce is cooking. We don't even have your facts straight. What site are you on, man?
Oh no, that was a bottom ticker at 11 a.m.
Let me ask you this question differently. What in the hell are you on, man? No, listen, I'm not. I actually like Jelani Woods, but the fact you're throwing out two rookies to me is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, we have to hope these guys come in and be something. And all I mentioned was somebody has to step up, and it could be Alec Pierce. But is Alec Pierce going to give you T.Y. Hilton? I don't know. I hope, but I don't know.
It's the next Jordy Nelson.
This guy goes stars. Vinny.
I will double down on that though. Alec Pierce has had a good camp as of late in this joint practice against the Lions. He struggled against the Bills when he was locked up against Kyrie Elam, but he has had a good joint practice against the Lions.
I'm like, oh, what are we do this again? I'm gonna bring it up. It's preseason, man. It's training camp. He's had a really good camp. He's had a great camp. Everybody has a great camp. All they do is play 7-on-7. Well, and then they go in and have joint practices where they don't do anything. I went to the Falcons practice. Those dudes didn't do nothing. I could barely get my camera up and it was over. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just 2 for 27. I'm sorry. It's not a very impressive first preseason debut for a guy that's been cooking all the camp. Okay.
Probably played 5 or 7 snaps.
All right, let's go into our odds here. We talked Jonathan Taylor. We talked Matty Ice. Let's talk Colts prop bets. Over 10.5 wins is plus 125. Over 25.5 Matt Ryan passing touchdowns is plus 100. And I gave you guys a twofer at the end here. Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL in most rushing yards or most rushing touchdowns is both at plus 450. Which one of these bets do you gentlemen want to lock and load going into the season, Aaron?
For me, it's easy. It's 10.5 wins. I'll take the over. Matt Ryan, again, without having a huge amount of weapons on the outside, might get close to that number. He could go over, but it's going to be close. And then Jonathan Taylor, I don't buy guys repeating as rushing champs in the NFL. Injuries, guys step up. He'll score a lot of touchdowns. I do think he'll score a lot of touchdowns. You still got to deal with guys like Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, and some other guys that are going to be some touchdown machines. So I will take the Colts because I think they're a good football team. I think they can win enough games. I'll take the Colts over 10.5.
AJ?
Sorry, no changes. I'm on the same boat. That's the easy money in my opinion. Also, and you'll be happy to hear this, they don't play Jacksonville the last couple of weeks of the season, so they don't have to worry about the letdown.
It's true. It's true. I thought it was interesting. I was wondering if one of you guys would go down the route of the Matt Ryan over 25.5 touchdowns because last season Matt Ryan only had 20 passing touchdowns, but 26, 35 the few years prior. I'm just interested to see why you guys think that. Like, do you guys think that he could go?
Well, he's older. He's almost 39 years old, almost 40 years old. Like, your play declines. Like, Matt Ryan is not Matt Ryan from MVP Matt Ryan. Like, we all have to admit that. And there are things he has limitations now. And in NFL, that's changed. So, yeah, it's hard to be Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady can do it. Matt Ryan is not Tom Brady.
I'll give you this. If it was to happen, I think a lot of it would come from excess work from Jonathan Taylor and Naim Heinz on the screen passes and the dump offs, because Matt Ryan ain't scared to check down, and those guys can do some phenomenal things with the ball in their hands. So if he gets those opportunities, he's checking out at the right places, like inside the 30, and you can watch these guys break free, which is very capable. That could, boost those touchdown numbers in his favor.
You mean he's not going to be throwing touchdown passes to Alec Pierce?
Or Alec Ogletree.
I
will own it. I'll own it. I messed up.
I was so confused, and I was like, what is going on right now? Why does Jelani Woods have anything to do with an outside linebacker?
Let's go into the schedule.
Alec Pierce and Alec. Go ahead,
the schedule for the Indianapolis Colts. You both took the over on the win totals. Let's take a look. AJ, what will be the defining part of the Colts schedule this season?
So to me, I think about starting at week 7 when they head to Tennessee. I feel like they really need to start picking up there so we can kind of see who this team is. There are some pretty decent and solid teams in there. We don't know exactly what Tennessee is going to be, but last year we thought they weren't going to be great, and they found a way to be the number 1 seed in that division. Then they have Las Vegas, Philadelphia. I believe Pittsburgh is going to be a little better than some people believe. Not that they're going to be gangbusters, but that might be a tougher game than people are expecting. And if you can have knocked off a pretty solid win streak by the time you're headed into your bye, I believe they're winning at least 3 of those last 4 games, and down the stretch is so important. So if you're safe enough by that point in time, the back end of the last 4 games is going to be like money time, basically. So from that second time you play Tennessee Titans to about your bye, I think that's a very important part of their schedule.
Lots of good teams towards the end of there. And I agree with you. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be tough to either way, whether they have a star quarterback or not. They're always tough to play against. Record predictions, Aaron.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
Dude, where are you at, Indy?
What is he doing?
Bringing out the stone and the chisel. Bringing out his stone and the chisel.
How in the hell did I fit 32 teams on this piece of paper? But
and not even use the whole damn thing.
And it's game by game. Now I have 3 pieces of paper over here. Anyway, Indianapolis Colts. I have them going 11-6, and I'll tell you why. Because down the stretch they get hot. They do, unlike they did last year. They don't choke with Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan's been there. They win 6 of their last 7 games, and they go 11-6.
Okay. AJ?
I had them at 12-5. I am not going to waver from that. I think that is a very capable number for this team. And I do like what Gus Bradley is going to bring on the defensive side, even if they didn't need extra help. I mean, adding a Matt Ryan and then adding a different type of defense and a focused type of defense, I think 12-5 is a solid record. And actually, I think they're going to win the AFC South this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I
think
think
giving
that's
spoilers already, man. Save it for later.
That's cool. You give them
Now
one,
I'm-
and they're like,
now-
"Wow,
now-
that's
now
great." Now I
I'm
gotta
calling
hear
you
what he
out.
says about all the
Now
other
I'm
ones.
calling you out if you change between now and then. Now I'm a reference.
Colts
Let
12 and
episode
5 is
seven.
where I have them. Aaron, where do we have, and where do you have? It's because it's what you had. Where do we have the Indianapolis Colts on our power rankings?
Number 10, Colts come in at number 10. I think this is a really good football team that people are kind of sleeping on. All the talk's been about those AFC West teams, and I have the Colts ahead of all of them. And I think it's just a matter of the way they play football. They are an opportunistic defense with a very, very good offense, a good offensive line. They run the football, and that is the success, or that is a recipe for success in the NFL when it really comes down to it. Indianapolis Colts, number 10 on our preseason power rankings.